Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Deborah, and it's been a while since I've done anything with my paper craft. So today I thought I'd better pick it up again and get back into it. And to be honest, I wasn't very inspired because I think it's just like a habit. I haven't done it for so long because I've been sick, and I've been doing a lot of sewing, as you've probably seen. So what I thought I would do was to gather things, which I've done, and put them into something. So I've got a lot of things that have kind of been floating around, things I've made, and mostly what I've made. I've got a journal here. This is a journal I did for a class when I was teaching, and the journal itself isn't very decorated because you're limited on what supplies you can use based on the cost of the class. I thought it was a good one to add to because there are quite a few spare pages in here that I'd like to embellish further. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got my glue out, just the normal adhesive that I was using, and it actually seems to be okay even though it hasn't been picked up for more than a year. So that's pretty cool because I've got a number of bottles of it and just a whole heap of other things that I've pulled out. Now some of the things like this is an actual vintage card. It's not one that I've made. So I don't want to ruin it. It came from Germany, I think. It was either Belgium or Germany, but I'm pretty sure I got it in Germany. Or it may have actually been from the Netherlands. I'm not really sure anymore. So I want to put it in somewhere, and I've got plenty of little pockets and things where I can tuck it. And I don't want to stick it down because I want the back visible. So those are the types of things that I'm working with. But I could pop it in here. There you go. And here's just a card that I made, and I'm just going to write a little note on here so that I know what I've done with that particular, where that came from. I think it's a good idea to record where you got something from, especially something as precious as that. So I've popped that in there, but I think something on here might also look nice. So what I've got is this. I was making this. I remember I was doing it for, I think it was one of Shabby Soul things that I was working on, and of course then didn't progress further with it because I got sick, or maybe it was just after I felt that I was well enough to do something, but not really. It didn't really progress very far. So I thought that if I could pop this in here, it might be good to have something like that in there. I'll have to cut it down a little bit. Maybe it can go elsewhere. Actually, it might look good on this page. And I can put it there. Then I won't have to cut it down as much, but I'm going to have to chop that edge off there. So really it's just about changing the journal up so I've got somewhere to store my things. Now I've cut that really crooked, that particular edge. Anyway, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm just going to move on and just tell myself that that's okay. What else have I got here? I might keep that out. I might need that. And I also know I have a tag here somewhere. Okay, I've got this tag. That's actually on the back of a piece of the packaging, that one. We'll see what else we've got that we can pop into this pocket. I could make something, but I've got all this stuff here, so I didn't really want to. I'm going to stick this down. This is actually a sample. A shop sample, so I'm going to stick it down. 2019 I made that. Let me just stick this down because it's got the little can't think what you call that, but you know what I mean. Brad, that's what they're called. It's got a brad in there, so I really don't want to have that on, available to hurt your hand on, which is why I just stuck it down there. I could put that in the pocket. I don't think it's going to go in far enough, but perhaps I could stick this on here and then add something to the top of it maybe. I've got this fabulous piece of it's laundry label, French laundry label. I'm sorry, apologise, my words are still not quite good enough yet, but I'm getting better as time goes on. So I've got that laundry label, so maybe I'll stick it down and then I can add something else like the laundry label to it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with going back and embellishing things after you've made them. So I think I'm going to put that laundry label down there. unless I've got anything else. Let me have a look what else I've got. Got some stamped bits. These are just things that I've made. Maybe I'll cut this out and put that on there. So I hope that you're all well, and please let me know in the comments how you're going, because it's been a while. And I just think about all my lovely subscribers and people that I've gotten to know over the years, wondering how you're all going. And hopefully you've all been well. Put that down there. And pop that in there. So now it looks more like it's a piece of this. I could have actually cut round that. It's too late now. I haven't done that, so I can't go back and do that. I just wondered what else I can put on here to make it look a little better. I could pop something like this on here, couldn't I? Let's tear that down a bit. Let's try another bit. Oh, I've got something in here I didn't realise. Okay, a little piece in there, look. I do like that. I am going to use that. I'll just tear this off. And I will have to use my ink again to get rid of that white edge. And obviously I'm going to have to tear it down because it's going to be too big for the edge of the page if I don't. I have to tear it down a bit more actually. That even looks better. I think now it's torn a bit like that. And then we'll tear it off the bottom. Put it down a bit. I'll have to put something on the top too. It's not looking any good now it's down there, is it? Oh. I'll start by sticking that down. Let's not fluff around. Let's just get things onto the page. Actually, I could use the other piece that came off it, couldn't I? And just put some of that on there. If I just tear it a bit more. Let's make a little strip of it, like so. And just put it here. And tear it up a bit more so it's a bit smaller. Yes, it is a piece of vintage laundry label, which is why it's a bit dirty, but there's no point in keeping things. You may as well just use them. And if you like them and, you know, you're happy with them, why not just use them? I do tend to keep things thinking it's too precious to use, but I really don't want to do that. Now, this is actually a card that I got from somebody, and I want to keep the writing inside. It's a thank you card, obviously, from one of my subscribers, actually, but I don't want to stick it in and not be able to read it. I think I want to put it on a page that's not quite as flimsy. Actually, I might put it under here. That might be a good place for it. And then I can open it up and I can read it, but it's also a little bit hidden at the same time. Sorry, Pam, I'm putting some glue on your lovely card that you made me, but it's only to preserve it, so I've got the memory still. There you go, that's on there. And I need something on here. Now I've got these, but they're like really big. They're really big tags, but I think I can cut them down somewhat and use them. Maybe I'll put that on that side. Yeah, if I cut it down, I can't take too much off because it's got some stuff at the bottom here, but I can actually cut it down somewhat. And I can't quite get that in. It might have to poke up above the edge of the journal. That's a bit straighter. How's that? Oh, no, that's okay actually. So this is another sample that I made for the shop. See if I can find somewhere to pop it. But it is sticky on the back, so I'm going to have to stick it down all the way. But that's okay. Let's just do that. So it won't be a pocket. I should probably find a better place to put it then. rather than on here. And I'm just wondering where I could pop it that's not... Oh, actually I might put it on here. That's a plain page. There you go. It's not a pocket, but it doesn't matter. And I've got this here, which is a little booklet that we made as part of the class. And I've got a thing there, so I don't need anything there. And there's the middle. What else have I got? I've got plenty of these plain pages. This is kind of what I thought I wanted to fill up. Here's something else that I made, so that could go on there as well. Good to get some things out off the shelf where I store them and into an actual journal. I've been going through my journals and having a look back. Actually, it's quite fun to do that. If you haven't done that with yours, I suggest that you take time and try and do that, because it's really interesting to look back at what you made. Some of the stuff I thought, oh, that's really nice at the time, and I look back and think, I don't think it was that great. It was okay. I thought, this is fine. I made this a while ago and it's fine. I'm happy with it. But there are other things which I think, oh, really? I don't know if you do that, but that's what I do. Here's another one, another card that I made, which is, can go possibly there. It might look nice if I put that on that page. And I'm going to leave this as a card, so I could write in it, and then at some point, if I wanted to, I could make a pocket out of it. But you can write in it with, you know, like a white pen. That would be the way to go. It's just to write in it. It's not too hard putting these in. I thought it might be a bit more difficult because, you know, there's a lot of texture in this journal, but it's not that bad at all, actually. And this one here, maybe I want to put it on something. It is a bit sort of, not, you know, it's a bit flimsy by itself. It's just paper, that's why it's a bit flimsy. But if I put it onto something, it might be better. I'm going to rip this off. Really just going for it today. As I said, it's been so long since I've done any paper craft. I've kind of, you know, forgotten, but I'm sure I haven't. I think it's muscle memory. I'm sure it'll come back as I keep going with it. I am going to cut or tear the top part of this off. And I might actually cut it now I've done that, so I don't have to ink it as much. I've been doing lots of sewing, as you've probably seen. I think I said that before, just because I've really been enjoying my sewing. I've made a lot of quilts. In November and December, I actually did 7 quilts, which is pretty good. I was happy with that too. I could put that there. I'd like to put something up the top too, or maybe I'll just stick this in here. It's got a little tag in it already. Oh, that's one of the Tim Holtz cards that I've put onto a piece of hard cardboard. So maybe I can use that somewhere as well. And I have this, which is like a card. It's actually a fake card. I don't know if that might be too big. If I cut that down, it's going to, let me see, let's rip this off. Will that fit on there then? It will almost go on there. I'll just have to trim it ever so slightly, and that little bit of string I've got on there is going to come off when I do that. I'm hoping I can salvage it though, because I really like that. I haven't bought anything new, of course, either, for a long time. I haven't needed to. I don't never need to because I've got that much. But I haven't really seen. I have kept up a little bit. I have been watching some things, and there's always lots of new stuff around, which is always lovely, of course. But it's always good to try and use your old stuff as well. Now here we have this thing, which I really like. So I could make this into a pocket like that. I might put that one in there then. I could pop that in there if I do that. And then I've got this, which I've obviously made. And I don't know that I want to stick that down anywhere, because I might not be able to turn it over if I stick it down. I might just find somewhere and put this in. Actually, I've got a pocket at the front, haven't I? So at the front of this, I actually do have a pocket here. And this is in it. I've got a journaling card there. So if I put that in there, I could put this one in too. And then I've got two in there. I don't know how far that'll go down. No, that's fine. So now I've got that in there as well. Let's see what else we've got here to play with. Well, that's just another sample. Actually got a piece of leather on it that can come off. It was just to hang. It's a bit of, actually it's a bit of raffia that I've used to hang it while it was in the shop as a sample. But I'll have to stick it all down. Oh, I should have found somewhere to stick it first, shouldn't I? What about, oh, I like that page. I don't want to cover that page. What about if I put it on here? How's that? Yep. Here's something else. That's just another card for journaling. Oh, that goes in there. There's a little pocket in there. Let's see what else we've got here. I'd like to use one of these. These are some things I've made with the slide. And I might just rip this. Oh, give it a little rip and pop it on there. There's the legs. I put the legs into a frame as well. Maybe I should put the legs on this side. That might not be a bad idea. And I think I'll get this out because I may have something I can put onto there, like this one. I don't know if that's a bit pink for this. It probably is a little, but you know, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. See where I can put this. Maybe on this page here. Again, I'm going to pull the hanging bit off. I like that. It says my favourite thing to make for dinner is reservations. Quite funny. And I don't want to cover her because she's lovely. Wouldn't mind putting something on here though. What have I got for here? Oh, I've got another one of these cards. Gosh, I've got lots of cards. I'm going to rip this off. She's got butterfly wings. Can you see the butterfly wings? I could put that there. Perfect. It's getting quite chunky. I think I might have to stop or I'm not going to be able to shut it anymore. There is actually a ribbon that goes around it. It ties through here and wraps around it. So I think that that might have to be enough for today. Otherwise it's just going to get out of control. I'm not going to be able to shut it. I've got things left, but I can always put them into something else another day. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's nice to be back doing some paper craft. This is Deborah. Cheers.